Welcome to Open Marketing. Today, I'm going to share with you about providing value and being consistent for your audience. This is super important, and the reason being, and we have to really start with just defining what valuable is. All right, because a lot of us, and I fell victim into this myself, so many times we define something as valuable based on our perspective, when the truth is you need to be defining value based on what your potential client deems as valuable, right? I'll give you an example. Let me find something on my desk. If I say, this is a mic cover. If I say to me, this mic cover is worth $1 million, right? This means that this is valuable to me. Now, you may look at this mic cover and be like, I wouldn't pay 5 cents for it. But at the end of the day, if you are trying to close me, if you are trying to buy a home from me, wouldn't it make sense for you to communicate to me about this microphone cover, this shield, as if it's actually $1 million because it's something that I view valuable, as opposed to communicating it to me as if it's only worth 5 cents to you? Which one do you think is actually going to get you the deal, right? Because at the end of the day, especially with content creation and building your personal brand, digital platform, all the fun stuff with social media, at the end of the day, you want to close deals. So you want to make sure that when you're providing value, right? Because I'm certain you've heard this before from, gurus and coaches and stuff like that. Value is all based on perspective. So if you are just going to talk and create and record a whole lot of content that is valuable only to you, that's great, but you're going to be left by yourself. So you want to make sure that you're recording content that's actually valuable to your audience. And that's where you deal with solving your audience's problems. That's where you're dealing with answering your audience's questions. Okay. And you have to be super specific with the way in which your audience thinks, what they do on a day-to-day basis, what keeps them up at night, all of the different types of things. You want to make sure that you actually really know your audience so you can provide them value. All right. And when you think about providing value, it's really just a matter of sitting down, taking the time, and take 20 minutes to just sit down, think about, who am I talking to? And as a real estate agent, it's very important that you actually take time to think about the buyer that you want to attract, and also take time to think about the seller you want to attract. And then once you actually take that time to define, okay, this is the type of buyer I want, this is the type of seller I want, now you're able to figure out what problems they have. Then you solve those problems, and the solutions to their problems is valuable to them. And if you are posting content that is actually valuable to your potential buyer, to your potential seller, guess who's more than likely going to get the deal? You guessed it, right? So with that, identify your audience, figure out who is it that I'm talking to. And again, it takes practice. So if you know, when I'm looking for buyers, I would like families that have kids, or I like bachelor men or single women, whatever type of buyer you want to look for. If you have your sellers, then you know what type of seller that you want. If you do well with aggressive sellers, or you do well with sellers that, are okay waiting, whatever the case may be. But really identify just who is your perfect buyer, who's your perfect seller, figure out what problems are they facing, right? Is the seller facing money problems? Is the buyer just in a rush trying to get something done? Whatever the case may be, figure out what their problems are so you can actually provide them the value that they need. Because at the end of the day, they need you, right? And if you've been with me or you've worked with me, you know that I've always said, with your content, be sure to treat them as if they're already your client. When you're in front of the camera, like I am in front of you right now, as far as I'm concerned, you're one of my clients, right? You may not be paying me a dime, which, if you want to help me out, that'd be great. But at the end of the day, I'm talking to you as if you're already a client. So the confidence that I have, the way I show up on camera, that matters. And that shows to your potential clients, right? So you need to make sure that you do the same thing. And when you're able to show up confidently in front of camera, and we'll talk about that in a later episode or a later show when it comes to just this open marketing platform, but make sure that you show up strong, right? But when you combine showing up plus actually providing value and solving problems, now you become the real estate agent that is the point of reference. You become the real estate agent that they're going to turn to. And if they're going to turn to you with something as major as a home, which is pretty much the biggest investment that they'll ever make in their life, more than likely they'll want to spend money with you, right? So with that, be sure that you identify what is actually valuable to them, not valuable to me. Okay. What is it that is actually valuable to them? What is valuable to my audience in terms of who I'm speaking to? All right. So that's the first part. Make sure that you're providing value. Now, the being consistent piece. Now, I know that there are some real estate agents out there, and you may be listening to me and you're like, well, Trevon, I don't really have time to create content. I don't have time to post and all that type of stuff. Let me just give you some tough love. And let me just tell you, you have the time. You just have to make time. Because I can tell you the successful real estate agents that are absolutely killing it on social media, and I've done research on all of them, or at least I would say a good majority of them, they still show up consistently with valuable content. Okay. Now you want to make sure that's very important. There's no point in just being consistent with trash. You want to make sure that you're consistent with valuable content. Now, how consistent do you need to be? The question is more so, what can you handle with your day-to-day schedule, your week-to-week schedule? How much content can you produce that is not overbearing to where you don't become a content creator full force versus you being a real estate agent, right? Let me go deeper. If you're in a position right now where the most content that you can produce that is valuable to your audience, if that's only once a week, then you post consistently once a week with very valuable information and content for your audience. Now, why is that important? When you are consistent with your content, your audience will look forward to it. When you're consistent with valuable, helpful, problem-solving type of content, your audience is going to look forward to when they see you on their timelines. And if you really solve problems, they won't just wait until you show up on their timelines. They're actually going to search for whenever you post. So the question is, when you think about being consistent with your content, is one, do you have a system of content creation? And we can talk about that. Reach out to me, comment below if you want help with just creating a system. But one, just your system of creating content, but also just being consistent with when you actually show up online, whether that's live stream, whether it's posting, whether it's comments, DMs, whatever the case may be. You want to make sure that your audience can rely on you. Again, treat the people that follow you as if they're already clients. You want to make sure that you're consistent with your clients. So with being consistent with your clients, with being consistent with people that are trusting you with hundreds of thousands of dollars, you want to make sure that you're consistent. So what does that look like? Figure out how much content can I produce that is at a high quality value rate for my audience, but then figure out, okay, is that once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, 4, 5, twice every day, whatever that is. But you basically give yourself a platform, you give yourself a baseline to say, you know what, if I only have time to post twice a week, if I only have time to do one podcast episode, show up on this live once a month, whatever the case may be, just make sure it's valuable and it's consistent, because people will look for you. People have problems and you have the answers to solve it, especially in real estate, because people are buying, people are selling their homes. Okay. And I know well enough at this point that, and I'm not even a real estate agent, that there are areas and there are times and periods where the market's up and there's periods when the market's down. But at the end of the day, real estate agents that are hungry, right? And that's why you're here. You're a real estate agent that really wants to take this serious, that they make it work. They figure out how to be successful regardless of what the market is doing. Because at the end of the day, you have to figure out what you're really selling with your content. You really need to understand that you as a real estate agent, you're not selling just a home. You're selling memories. You're selling an experience. You're selling, just a period of life that people are never going to forget, because again, this is the biggest purchase that people are ever going to make for the most part. So you want to make sure that you're being extremely valuable to them. Help them as if they are already a client of yours, but then you're also showing up consistently, because then they will search for you. And if they are going to search for you online, then they're probably going to buy your book. They're probably going to sign up on your newsletter. They're probably going to give you a call, which is only going to lead to then you relying on your sales skills to then close the deal, and then you get paid. Because at the end of the day, that's the point, right? You want to get paid. Now, I hope that this was helpful to you. We talked today about bringing value and being consistent with your content. Now, with that being said, if you know any other real estate agents that this would benefit, if you know any other real estate agents that talk about how they don't have time to record content, or they don't even know what to record, or they just need help when it comes to building their personal brand and building their digital platform, I'm encouraging you to just tag them in the comments below. I'm encouraging you to send them the link to sign up, because this is totally free. Understand, I am giving you gems and tips and tools and instructions and information that people literally pay thousands of dollars for. And I'm giving it to you I'm giving it to you for free, totally free. And it's because I truly want to help you. And it's in hopes that you would work with me for sure. I'm not going to hide that, but I know what I'm talking about, and I want to help you succeed. And I believe you can, as long as you implement these steps. And I know for a fact, if you get in the habit of providing valuable content, showing up as yourself, like I sent you an email about last week, and really being consistent, there's no reason why you won't be able to close more deals and get more leads and find more clients online. All right. But again, like I said, if you know anybody that this would help, be sure to share this with them so that way they can sign up and get some of this value, because you don't want to be selfish with good value. And I appreciate you. If you have any questions, leave it in a comment below this video. Shoot me an email. Get in touch with me. I'm certain somewhere around here will be my contact information so that we can talk if you are interested. But next week, next month, I'm going to be sharing with you some more valuable information that will help you take your digital platform and your personal brand as a real estate agent to the next level. I'll see you guys next month.